For this video, I'm not going to be introducing a new concept. I want to give you some additional information about your project. Remember, this is project-based learning, and we're going to be doing a lot throughout the next 3 weeks that coincides with the project and our standards. So I want to talk to you about some dates. Your first draft for your project is going to be due on September 9th. That means that you should have maybe a drawing or a rendering of the poster that you plan on doing. If you're doing a video, you should have some kind of a storyboard or a written explanation of how it's going to be, and you should be able to show me some of the videos that you've made or things that you plan to put in the video. Or you should have started working on your website. If you're making a website, you should have it laid out and working on what you're going to be putting into it. So I'm going to want to see that on September 9th. I'm going to look over them that weekend, and I'm going to have meetings and give feedback with the groups on that Monday, September 12th. That'll let me talk to you about what I see that's really good about your project and what I see that might be a little bit weak and that you may want to build on, and making sure that you're doing what you need to do and that it's going in the right direction. 1 week after the meetings is when we're going to have the presentations and when your final draft is due. That's the day that your project is turned in. Your presentations are going to need to be about 3 to 5 minutes long. If you really need it to be longer, then you need to talk to me about that beforehand. But what I'm planning on is 3 to 5 minutes, and that should be enough for most groups to go on that Monday, and if we have to, we can continue them into Tuesday. So the things that you must have in this presentation, remember, you must include references to our current standards. You don't have to include all of them, but we've talked about things that could very easily be included, such as transformations, our dilations, similarity, congruence. We talked about the real-world applications of indirect measurements in class. Those are things that you need to make sure that you reference in your project. And as we build on them more, you can build on them more. Always keep in mind that driving question. It's written on the board in the classroom. How can we, as mathematicians, encourage students to love geometry and entice them to join Euclid's Geometry Club? So these are some things you need to make sure that you do. Remember, you need to have a new club name, a new club motto. You're trying to get students to join the club, so why should you join the club? What's it all about? What are you going to be doing? Is it going to be all about sports? Is it going to be all about art? What is it about this club that's going to be interesting? And how is it showcasing the geometry? How does geometry affect the world and your life? So that needs to be put in there as well. It all needs to reflect your understanding of geometry and how geometry affects the world around us. How does that make students want to like geometry? And why are they going to want to come to the club meetings? Why are they going to want to join the club? Now, we're going to continue with the videos, and we are going to continue with new material. But you are going to be given more time in class to work on your project. We'll try to do probably half a class period almost every day will be devoted to working on your project. And each time I'm going to be asking, how can you incorporate our new material into your project? Like I did with indirect measurement. How can you incorporate this into your project? While I'm going to give you time in class, you still may end up having to work outside of class if needed. If your project is large, especially if you're doing a video, you may not have time to complete it in class. You may have to get together with your group mates after school, before school. Or you can come to my room and have a meeting with me if you need extra help. But you need to manage your time. Okay, you need to come up with a plan of what you're going to do. We're going to be starting daily learning logs. If you're not watching this until Friday, then we've already started them. But that's going to help me keep track of where you are and how you're doing. So those learning logs are going to be important over the next 3 weeks to make sure that you're going in the right direction. So we're going to continue talking about the project. You're going to get time to work on the project. And I am really looking forward to seeing these projects at the end, to see how you believe that the things we have learned so far in this class are affecting the world, and how they affect your life and the lives of others, and how you can get students to want to join this club based on what you know about geometry. So if you have any questions, all you have to do is send me an email, come by my room anytime. I'll be working with you in class on this as well. Now, there are some questions that go along with this video, so make sure you go fill out the Google form.